Welcome. We're just getting the good vibes going. So this is actually my second attempt at this morning. Funny story real quick. So I was just live like 5 minutes ago, but the internet people called me, and I've been playing phone tag with the internet people for like a week now, and so I was like, I better stop the live and just take the phone call. So I did. So thank y'all for coming back. Maybe this is a better time for people anyway and working out better. All in divine order, all in divine order. So my internet will be upgraded soon, which will mean better quality lives and very good things for the classes and everything I'll be offering. So yeah, welcome friends, aloha, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. This is day 27 of the 40 days of Reiki, and my intention with this series is to educate, inform, inspire, and intrigue you about the Reiki healing energy as a tool for healing in mind, body, soul, and spirit, as a system of tools and techniques for spiritual awakening, and actually the way of Reiki as a spiritual path in and of itself. So it's a really, really powerful modality that continues to amaze me every single day, and it really can be whatever you want it to be. Your relationship to Reiki can be however you want. Any of those things I listed, all of those things I listed, something a little different even. It's all about finding your unique relationship with Reiki and how you connect to the divine. Aloha, Belinda. Yeah, get the replay, you know where they are on the IGTV. I know it's late for you. I know. I appreciate y'all being here. Matt is vegan. Please go vegan. Yeah, wonderful. Lauren, David. I see mom's here. Some other friends are here. Welcome, friends. Yeah, so just a few announcements before we dive in. I am teaching Reiki 1 and 2 in May online. Y'all can sign up for the wait list for that class, and it's going to be a really powerful healing experience. You will learn and be empowered to give yourself Reiki in Reiki 1, and you'll receive the energy, and then in Reiki 2 you'll receive Reiki 2 symbols and be empowered and instructed and have practice time actually giving distant Reiki to other people. And taking a class online is an incredibly powerful experience because you experience the power of distant Reiki, and just you get to experience again like having a sacred container online, using technology for energy healing and the upliftment of yourself and other beings. And it's really, really phenomenal. Really, it's changed the way that I look at and interact with technology completely in a healthy way for the better. So that will be happening. I will open up registration soon, and yeah, I'm very, very excited about this. And as I've been saying, also, if you're feeling healing in these videos, please share them to your stories, any social media, anywhere, a friend or family member, whoever you think may benefit from this. Share the love. It's a way to give back if you're feeling some healing. So what else? I've got a free video mini course, The Best Kept Secrets of Radiant Health and Spiritual Awakening. I just dropped a new video about the 4th petal of the flower of healing, detoxification and cleansing. And it's a very deep subject, and I went deep in the video as I'm known to do. And I have so much more to say, and I realized after, I was like, I didn't even talk about some of the other detoxification and cleansing methods that I have experience with, because there are many. There are really so many, and that is such a important part of holistic health, holistic healing, holistic lifestyle, and can be used, blended, synchronized, harmonized with Reiki. And And yeah, it's an important part of a healthy lifestyle. And I think, using a detox or a cleanser fast as a prayer too, and looking at these different practices with intention and with reverence and with real respect and love for your body as an instrument of the divine is a completely different way to look at detoxification and cleansing, right? Rather than deprivation, or I gotta get all the junk out, or I'm gross, or I'm sick, or whatever. It's like, no, I'm purifying. I'm making thoroughly clean this sacred body container. So the links for all those things are in my bio or in the description if you're watching this on YouTube later on. Let us invoke the Reiki energy. So I'm going to guide us through a Reiki invocation, which is a guided meditation where I call in the Reiki energy, the holy fire Reiki energy, and you will receive Reiki energy if you're open to it. If you're not so sure about it, you won't get any. If you're worried you might get too much or too little, Reiki is spiritually guided life force energy. It is a very, very, very high level of consciousness, extremely high level of consciousness. It respects your free will. It will only give you as much as is needed in the moment. If you're really open to receive, you'll get more. If maybe just a little bit, that's what you'll get. Reiki's got you. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just relax and go ahead and close your eyes and start tuning in. Tuning in, turning your awareness inward. Take some deep breaths. Let go, let go, let go, let go. Let go of everything you were doing before this. Everything you have to do after this. Everything that happened already today. Anything that may happen. Let go. Just be here now. Be in the present moment. Receive the gift of the present moment. The light of Reiki fills the space around you. As you breathe in, the light of Reiki flows in on your breath and fills your body. You receive the light, and the light within you wakes up and is revealed to you. This is the light of your life force, your spirit. There are archangels standing at the corners of the land, and on every side, standing all around you. And they shine their light into the light. As you breathe in, the power of love fills your breath, and you receive the power of love. And the power of love within you wakes up and is revealed. You remember, love is who you are at the core of your being. The light of the divine mind fills your breath, and as you breathe in, you receive the power of the divine mind. And the divine mind within you wakes up. Your higher consciousness, your higher thought is present, and the field of possibilities is open. Your intuition, instincts, and imagination are awake. Your inner guidance, your inner truth, and inner authority are revealed. Your heightened perceptions, senses, instincts, and observations are awake and present and revealed to you. The light of the divine heart fills your breath, and as you breathe in, you receive the power of the divine heart. And the divine heart within you wakes up, and your heart light is revealed. Your heart light shines out in front of you, on each side, above you, below you, and within you. This is your divine presence. And as you see your divine presence, you see it in everything and everyone around you. The light of the earth rises through you and fills your body and your breath. And you remember that your body is made of the earth. Your body gives your life force, your spirit, breath, and life. Your body is the treasure house for your great beaming light. Your pure human spirit is revealed. The light of creation, the light of God, fills the air you breathe and flows in and reveals the light of creation, the light of God in you. Your divine spirit is revealed. Your divine spirit and human spirit unify in your breath. When you listen, you can hear the heartbeat of the earth and the heartbeat of creation beating in the same rhythm as your heart. The light of creation and the light of your body are one light within you. Your divine nature is present in your human nature. You remember your beautiful spirit, your life force is here in your life, in this moment, in time. Look into your heart and say thank you to you. Take this time to notice how deeply you love, how deeply you care. We say thank you to each other. We are meant to be together today. We say thank you to the angels and the enlightened ones who join us. And thank you to the teachers who come before us and the descendants who come after us. We are honored to be among them. Aho, amen, namaste, and so it is. Thank you, mahalo. As a child of God, I claim my power and purpose as a servant of God. I demand that all darkness leave me and all who are watching immediately. I ask that Archangel Michael place me and all who are watching in his blue bubble of protection against all darkness. Welcome everyone. Aloha. Y'all, I could just stay under. How about y'all? Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. How are y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? I know I've been thinking maybe I'll do a Reiki experience on one of these. But I'm not sure. I have to keep feeling into that. I will definitely, the Reiki classes are really cool because you get, it's not just like lecture, you know, like information. It's like we start each day with an invocation like that. We'll go even longer. Invocation like that one, and then there are Reiki guided experiences that are healing experiences, and then there's actually placement experiences that are like guided experiences that feel amazing, and that's when the Reiki energy is like directly beamed from the source of the Reiki energy into you, like not channeled through me or anything. It's just I'm like, hey, like, come on over, all these people said yes, and Reiki just drops right in to all the people who have signed up for the class and are on the Zoom live. Yeah, I've not read Energy Ecstasy by Dr. Bernard Gunther. I've never even heard of that. Yeah, never heard of that one. Yeah, I'm just nerding out really hard on Reiki lately, you know. The more I learn about it, the more I'm just like fascinated and intrigued, and it's like what they call the master level is Shinpuden. It's the great mystery. This really can be the way of Reiki. This can become your spiritual path. It can become a way to fully wake up in the human body and to heal all the unhealthy aspects of self and extend that healing to as many people as possible, and to empower others like yourselves to receive the energy directly so that you can heal yourself and share it with other people too. It's really cool stuff. Really, really powerful. Yeah, everyone can tap into positive energy, of course, and high sources of energy. But it's really nice to have, like, this. I've done that. Like, I grew up doing energy healing and, like, working with this stuff pretty naturally. But to really be plugged into extremely high consciousness energy so that you are not channeling your own energy. There's not like that mix up and becoming drained, right? Because there are finite sources of energy and infinite sources, and Reiki is one of these infinite, limitless sources. So whenever I'm giving Reiki, you know, in a class and something like this, it's healing me as it comes through. It's not draining my own limited, tailored ego energy field. It's not coming from my energy field, because that's what I was doing for a long time. That's why I needed this training, and that's why I think so many empaths are guided to Reiki. So many empaths are guided to Reiki, hopefully. Because there are a lot of different modalities where, there can be some of that bleed over where it's draining your energy too. This is finally the system that's allowing me to stay open, completely open, and stay in my empath, true loving nature, but not just drain myself completely, not just burn out and then, you know, be emptying my cup completely and then trying to help people from an empty cup and taking on all their stuff inappropriately. Then it's weighing me down, then I'm trying to process it. So yeah, breathing in the sun energy is a wonderful way to connect with the sun's energy, of course, and heal dogs with your star-covered beach towels. That sounds very nice. Very, very beautiful. Yeah. So today I wanted to share about kind of the other side of all this. What I've been sharing so far is like the super spiritual, is like, you know, entities and guides and angels and God and Jesus and St. Francis and really great stuff, right? Like really, really interesting stuff. I'm not hating, you know, I'm not hating. But that's one way of perceiving Reiki, very spiritually, and relating to Reiki, as I do. Very, very spiritually, very, you know, elaborate belief system. Just like a whole beautiful dimension that's opened up to me. But would it be appropriate for me to go into like a hospital and be like, well, you know, like, I'm gonna clear all the patient's chakras, and like Jesus is gonna be doing etheric surgery and, you know, that kind of thing, and we're removing the negative entities? No, of course, that's not that wouldn't be appropriate, Yeah, a note about Buddha, Yogananda, Eastern Masters. Those would fall under Ascended Masters that are wonderful guides and energies to work with that are very much compatible with Reiki. I work with those as well. I work with Buddha and Yogananda as well. So it's just knowing like the consciousness of whatever being you might be working with. And then not talking about it if you're trying to do Reiki in a hospital or if you're trying to bring Reiki into like a corporate environment, okay? Like that's something I've learned in my training is there are different ways depending on your audience. Like here I feel like I can just share, you know, my very spiritual perspective because I'm trying to really resonate people. I'm trying to resonate people. I'm trying to like fully share my authenticity so that those of you who resonate, like you won't know my truth unless I share it. And I'm not going to find the people who want to learn Reiki from me unless I fully just, we're going all in. But, you know, trying to go and share Reiki at a hospital, I wouldn't be talking about it in this way. Yeah, we are all energies, different names for it, exactly, different ways of working with it, different tools and techniques. We're all energy, for sure, 100%. So, you know, going into a hospital, you talk about Reiki more like life force energy, right? Or that it's performed by laying on of hands or remotely, and that it can promote healing, that it definitely promotes relaxation and stress reduction, and that it can promote healing and kind of strip away any of the spiritual language about it. That's very, very important. But I wanted to share it is becoming more and more mainstream. It is cropping up in hospitals in various parts of the United States and around the world. It's coming into corporations, corporate environments. People are seeing its utility as a tool for stress reduction and relaxation and different kinds of healing. And there's been a lot of scientific evidence so far, and there's more and more coming forward all the time. So it's a lot less woo-woo than people think. And it doesn't have to be woo-woo. You can relate to it in a completely non-spiritual, biofield, more scientific kind of languaging and belief system, right? And the thing, Reiki doesn't care. Reiki doesn't care. Doesn't care if you're like seeing it all happen in a very spiritual understanding or if it's all resonating and making a lot of sense from a completely scientific, you know, research-based, biofield-based kind of understanding. Doesn't matter. It works either way. It works no matter how it's talked about too, which is really cool. I mean, yeah, non-attachment. Reiki's like, call me whatever, talk about me however, believe whatever, you know? It empowers us to really, as I've said, like, create our own belief systems and source our own inner guidance and come to our own understanding and relationship with it and ways of relating to it. So, what's some of the evidence say so far? Well, it's called a complementary medicine. So, you know, you wouldn't go in a hospital and be like, well, yeah, I can cure all the cancer patients, right? Because as I've shared here before, it's like, oh, it's unlimited potential and all this. Like, it really is, but we need studies showing that, you know, to be able to really claim that, you know? So it's called a complementary healthcare system. It's a complementary medicine. It has been in use in the hospital ORs as early as the mid-1990s. And yeah, let's see. And this is older information, but a 2008 USA Today article reported that in 2007, 15% of U.S. hospitals, over 800 hospitals, offered Reiki as a regular part of patient services. This is over 10 years ago. It was in 15% of U.S. hospitals. I mean, that's pretty big. That's a lot. And then there are studies showing that, yeah, it improves sleep. So there was a Hartford hospital study that showed that Reiki improved patient sleep by 86%, reduced pain by 78%, reduced nausea by 80%, and reduced anxiety during pregnancy by 94%. I mean, this is like quantifiable stuff. Bunch of different, so I talk about the ICRT on here, the International Center for Reiki Training, which is like giving a lot of tools and resources, certification, has a professional membership, does licensing. I'm a professional member there. Ultimately, I'll probably become licensed as well. That's a whole path in and of itself. It's going to be great. But they've created the Center for Reiki Research as well, because to be mainstream these days, like you need this stuff. It's good to have this and to be looked at as a legitimate modality, a legitimate field, a legitimate way of healthcare, of treatment. So they say they did a summary of all the Reiki studies, of 25 studies, and overall, based on the summaries of those studies that were rated, they rated each one as very good, excellent, or, if the design was kind of shaky, flaky. 83% show moderate to strong evidence in support of Reiki as a therapeutic modality. So the vast majority of the strong, well-designed studies in these peer-reviewed journals were showing that it helps. It helps a lot. Yeah, even Dr. Oz had a Reiki healer work with him. Yeah, it's helped with heart patients, depression, bypass patients who, heart bypass patients didn't have the depression at post-op. They didn't have the post-op pain, leg weakness. Transplant patients experience no organ rejection. I mean, how cool is that to be able, that makes sense even if you're working with Reiki and giving Reiki to someone who's just had an organ transplant, to then like be able to communicate with the new organ and like reorient the new organ into the new body so that it can be a match. And then just so some of this really, deeper stuff can take place. Yeah, it's been also used a lot with cancer patients. I was actually signed up to do that and start volunteering Reiki sessions at a cancer center in Arizona. However, oh my God, they make you do so many things to be able to just like go to the hospital and volunteer, let alone if you're with cancer patients to have weakened immune system. They were wanting to see all my vaccine records and all this stuff. I didn't take any additional vaccines. Thank you very much. And by the way, you're free to have your beliefs for against those too. Like, respect. It's a personal choice. But yeah, so I finally got approved to actually start giving the sessions on the cancer patients, and then all the COVID stuff started and they were like, we're closing down our volunteer program. So I never actually got to do it, but it was really cool to see. There was a hospital in my area who was allowing Reiki to be given to its patients. Like, it's one thing to like read about it, but then to actually be like, oh, there is a program and you can offer it to these cancer patients. And and then what's cool is that often the cancer patients will experience firsthand how healing and powerful it is. That they'll have miraculous results often happen, or they'll want to take the Reiki training themselves so they can start giving themselves Reiki every single day and kind of take their power back in their own healing process, because they've had the sessions. They know they feel a lot better. They know they work. So I think that's really, really cool. I'm sad I didn't get to do that, but obviously it was not meant to be. So what else? What else, friends? What else has it been shown to affect? Yeah, so probably the most commonly reported benefit of Reiki is that it reduces stress. And hello, if you're on planet Earth right now, which we all are, it's a pretty stressful environment, right? A lot of stress, a lot of fear, a lot going on. And so one of the first places in the body that stress manifests itself is in the heart and circulation, which, surprise, surprise, what do we have in the Western world? Epidemic of heart disease. And it's not just about unhealthy diet. Unhealthy diet is like a big part of that, but also the stress is people being addicted to stress. So heart rate and blood pressure both increase during stress, and these responses are caused by increased activity of sympathetic nerves in the heart. On the other hand, increased activities of the parasympathetic or vagal nerves causes the heart to relax. Studies have shown that Reiki can reduce the stress response of the heart in both humans and animals. Friedman et al. 2010 found that when nurses gave Reiki to 12 patients recovering from acute coronary syndrome, a disease involving blockage of the coronary arteries, the vagal nerves became more active, indicating a relaxation effect as reflected by changes in the heart rate variability. And yeah, let's see. Reiki, in essence, was having the same effect as these beta adrenergic blockers, the beta blockers we hear about, who often will have tons of side effects too, and totally mess up your mind. But Reiki was having this effect without any side effects other than relaxation and stress reduction and deeper levels of healing that were probably not perceivable, or maybe were perceivable. So yeah, Reiki was having a similar effect as a medicine that is a known effective therapy for heart disease. And the increase in vagal nerve activity was statistically significant compared to the results from the groups of patients who listened to meditative music or just received standard care. So yeah, well-designed study. Yeah, Matt is saying that I can only imagine what various medical people will think. Some will be open-minded and even into it themselves, others total skeptics. Exactly. And it depends how you approach them about it too, right? If I'm talking to a medical person, I'm not talking who's not spiritual, right? Or who I don't know very well. I'm not talking about Jesus and Buddha and what they're doing in the healing session, right? We're talking about, hey, did you know that in a study in 2010, Reiki showed a positive effect on heart disease patients similar to the effects of a beta blocker without any side effects. And, it doesn't require a prescription or anything. That patient could learn how to do it themselves too. Yeah. COVID is causing seemingly permanent heart damage in even light cases, so anything to promote the heart is a crucial thing for everybody. Yes, and we have, energetically a really deep heart chakra issue on this earth too. If everyone was able to heal their hearts and really connect with their hearts, I think all this would we'd all be feeling really good and wanting to hug everybody. Be a different world, different place. That's why I'm here doing this, right? And staying in my heart, sharing my heart. And what are we doing in the invocation? We're empowering your heart lights too. Empowering your heart lights. If we can just get everyone's heart light turned on, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a real good time on planet Earth. There's even preliminary scientific evidence that Reiki reduces stress, pain, depression, and anxiety, and can help mild Alzheimer's patients to overcome their cognitive impairment to some degree. I mean, how cool is that? How cool is that? Alzheimer's. Big, scary Alzheimer's. Helped by Reiki. Studies of Reiki on animals provide particularly robust data because the animals are all kept under the same exact controlled conditions, and their diet and lifestyle exactly the same. The stress they're receiving, bless them for being animals in labs. But let's see, the results are easier to interpret unambiguously. So Baldwin and colleagues, Baldwin, really cool chick, by the way. She's like a doctorate level clinical practitioner and researcher at, I think she's in Arizona too, University of Arizona, Tucson. She's doing all this. She's doing all this Reiki research and like really pulling it all together and analyzing it so that it can, you know, the system has that grounding in the scientific literature. So she did a study on animals that showed that Reiki compared with sham Reiki, so people may be doing, like not activating the energy, but, like hovering their hand over the animal, significantly reduced the physiological effects of stress in rats. In previous experiments, Wilson and Baldwin discovered that their research rats were stressed by the noisy environment in which they were housed, and that the stress was manifesting in their body as shown by cellular damage. Baldwin wondered whether giving the rats Reiki would reduce their stress and heal the damage, and so she designed experiments to test this hypothesis. In one study, a Reiki practitioner sat in front of each of the 3 cages and sent Reiki to the pair of rats inside each cage for 15 minutes every day for 5 days. Reiki significantly decreased the mean heart rate of the stressed rats by 6% on average, and sham Reiki had no effect. Neither Reiki nor sham Reiki reduced blood pressure. One reason that Reiki reduced heart rate but not blood pressure could be that blood pressure depends on multiple factors, including heart rate, force of contraction of the heart, and the degree of contraction or relaxation of the blood vessels. So Reiki would have to affect all these factors in order for blood pressure to be reduced. It's also possible that longer Reiki sessions would have had a better effect. And then she showed that the rats stressed by their noisy environment also had damaged blood vessels in the mesentery, the sheet of tissue that holds the intestine together. The damaged regions in these tiny blood vessels were leaky to a large protein, albumin, in the blood. Normally, it's contained in the blood vessels and does not leak out in the tissue. This condition is necessary in order for the correct balance to be obtained between water in the blood and water in the tissue. It is not known exactly how stress causes damage to blood vessels, but it is probably linked to activation of nerves in the intestine, leading to release of neurotransmitters that may stimulate immune cells to release toxins. When 4 rats were given Reiki for 15 minutes a day for 3 weeks, most of the leaks disappeared. 4 rats that received sham Reiki also showed some reduction in the number and size of vascular leaks, but it was not statistically significant. The experiment was repeated on 2 other groups of rats, and similar result was obtained. These experiments show that Reiki can work on animals, even rats, to reduce their stress and to heal the cellular damage mediated by the stress. So not just a reduction in heart rate, but actually physical healing of this intestinal leakage going on in these poor little rats, stressed out rats. Reiki has also been shown to reduce pain. Vital and O'Connor showed that Reiki significantly improved pre-op relaxation and reduced post-op pain in women undergoing hysterectomies. The 12 women in the Reiki group received a 30-minute treatment immediately before surgery and 24 hours and 48 hours post-op. The 10 women in the control group received standard care only. There was no sham Reiki group. And then they collected data, the anxiety inventory, and a scale for pain. The Reiki group reported significantly less anxiety pre-surgery and significantly less pain 24 hours post-op than the control group. And the time duration of the surgery was shorter on average for the group who received Reiki, 59 minutes, versus the control group, 72 minutes. That's pretty cool too. So having Reiki before surgery, because how many patients, the vast majority of patients going in for a surgery, like they're already traumatized by like being at the hospitals and being around medical professionals with varying degrees of, bedside manner and ability to really connect and help these patients feel safe. And then the patient feeling like, oh my god, like I hope this goes well, I might die or have some other kind of permanent damage as a result of this, or like catch a freaking disease at the hospital for being all opened up, and to receive Reiki before then, so that instead of all those worst case scenarios that I was just listing, instead they could just drop into totally open, receptive, loving, kind, peaceful, centered, relaxed state, and then go into surgery. And guess what? That patient's energy then would be like contagious to all the people in the OR. Just having that patient be that much more relaxed, then the surgeons and everyone else would feel that too. I know I'm getting woo-woo here, but this is just my like spiritual interpretation of what would happen there. But yeah, because surgery is really, really scary, often really scary and traumatizing. And to have that Reiki before and after, that sounds amazing. It really supercharged the healing process post-op. I would want to give Reiki to all the surgeons and stuff too. Or how cool would that be? Like to be in the OR, like giving Reiki to everyone in the room, like the patient and all the surgeons, and like evoking like the most mindful, dropped in, present, skillful, masterful surgery that those surgeons and nurses and everybody could perform together, and like creating peace and harmony or amongst that group. That would be really cool. So what else? Chronically ill patients often not only feel pain but also get depressed. There was a study that demonstrated a significant reduction in the pain, depression, and anxiety experienced by chronically ill patients with a range of medical conditions who received Reiki compared to sham Reiki, 2 sessions per week for 5 weeks. In these experiments, there were 12 men and 18 women per group. The men experienced a significantly greater reduction in depression than the women, interestingly. These beneficial effects were still seen 3 months after completion of the Reiki treatments. So lasting effects, not just like short term, they felt good for a day. Another study showed that 30 people needing treatment for mild depression or stress and who received hands-on Reiki or distance Reiki once a week for 6 weeks experienced significant reduction of mild depression and stress, and the beneficial effects lasted for at least 1 year following treatment. Again, longer-term results. The measures used in this experiment were the Beck Depression Inventory, the Beck Hopelessness Scale, and the Perceived Stress Scale. The 15 patients in the sham distance Reiki group, who were told they would receive distance Reiki but actually did not, reported no significant change in their depression or stress. And I could definitely vouch for that. That's great that there's clinical evidence that it's reducing depression and anxiety, but like I know for myself, depression and anxiety are 2 things I've struggled with, and they have been greatly healed. Like levels and levels and levels and layers of deeper and deeper healing for all aspects of mental health. Like this is probably one of, I don't even want to say one of the number one benefits of it in my life, because like I don't even know how to quantify the benefits because there are so many, and they keep coming in real fast. So, but I can vouch personally that the depression and anxiety is greatly helped by having a Reiki session, but also because all the people I've worked with too, I've seen that just giving Reiki sessions, they're like, yeah, I like feel so much better. And it's not just, right after. They do feel great right after, but then longer term, feeling that deep healing, because it lingers, it lasts. It's not bound by time and space. It's infinite. It's truly, truly infinite. But once I received actually the Reiki training and was able to do it on myself, that's when like the really juicy benefits came, because then that energy was directly in my being, in my field. I had invited it in, and I continue to give it more and more permission to perform complete healing in my body. Any truly advanced species would have this everywhere. Yes, practitioners benefit too. Absolutely. And that's why I think more and more people on planet Earth are interested in this. Are interested in this and learning Reiki. Like, there weren't that many people like getting Reiki training, even just like 30 years ago. But it's like, it's in the last 30, 40 years, it's really taken off. More and more people, it's going more and more mainstream. And that's another thing. It's not, everybody needs this, no scarcity mentality. Like, everybody could use this in some way. And if you're drawn to it, I really, really encourage you to take a class, Come take my class. I would love to have you. Love to have you. Yeah. What else, friends? We got a few more things. Yeah, so just wrapping up. Reiki, people who often use Reiki, I can't talk now, often find it helps them think more clearly and improves their problem-solving capabilities. I can definitely vouch for that. Although no research has been yet published confirming these benefits in healthy people, Crawford et al. Demonstrated that 4 30-minute Reiki treatments once a week significantly improved cognition skills in 12 elderly patients with mild Alzheimer's disease or mild cognitive impairment compared to the 12 patients who received no treatment. The measures in the study were the annotated mini mental state examination. Y'all, it's so funny. I learned these things in grad school and worked with these instruments in revised memory and behavior problems checklist. Once again, the study did not include a sham Reiki group. Yeah. I wanted to share it because I went to the Center for Reiki Research website. Just before I'm like, see my mind, it's okay, y'all, it fires so much faster. Sometimes really, really fast. Like I was sharing earlier in these lives, sometimes it's like I can't talk because the ideas and the words are coming through so fast. My brain is operating at a completely new level. But then other times I'm just like so relaxed and dropped into bliss. And the mental clarity is for sure. I mean, it's, for me, like, yeah, it's made decision making easier. It's made, I can be more objective about myself. Like, I don't know if y'all listen, but sometimes I refer to myself in the third person, which sounds really weird, but it's like, what I'm doing there is I'm just realizing what is Taylor ego personality like unhealthy, and then what is like higher guidance, true self, authentic self, and having that space and awareness to be able to do that and be very, very clear when a thought is not serving. It's not me, it's some culturally conditioned thought. I mean, Reiki as a mind management tool is incredible. And also, like we say in the invocation, calling forward the intuition, instincts, imagination, inner guidance, inner truth, inner authority, heightened perception, senses, instincts, observations, all of that. Reiki really puts you in a mindset where creative problem solving is more available, whereas maybe you only saw there were 2 options, suddenly like this third option comes forward and it's like, oh, I could do that too, and that's actually better. Yeah. It makes the tricky things a little easier, a little more palatable. So what else? Some more recent research I wanted to share with y'all. Reiki, this is coming from the Center for Reiki Research. They're doing Reiki for healthcare professionals impacted by the pandemic. Yeah, we need this. They're currently collaborating with Reiki Medic Care a non-profit organization in the UK, to conduct a single-arm pilot trial of remote Reiki, so distant Reiki, not in-person touch, for healthcare professionals, physicians, nurses, and ambulance paramedics whose physical and or mental health has been negatively impacted by COVID-19. Measures related to pain, anxiety, depression, sleep, and well-being are being assessed. That's pretty cool and necessary. Then at Harvard, Harvard, the Ivy League, doesn't get much more prestigious than that one in mainstream. They conducted a large-scale, 1,411 people, pragmatic study of Reiki for physical and mental health symptoms, including, but not limited to, pain, fatigue, anxiety, depression, and well-being. All symptoms were significantly improved following a single Reiki session. The article abstract, they're listing it on the website where you can read more, and they're currently preparing the qualitative component of the study for publication. Qualitative analysis shows that a Reiki session corresponds to an experience of deep relaxation, perceptual changes, and a spiritual, mystical experience. And they presented this research at a conference last year. So really freaking legit here, really as mainstream as it gets, and big study. This isn't like 10 rats or 10 people, 1,400 people. That it reduced all of these, it significantly improved all of these various symptoms with just one Reiki session. I'm curious how long the session was. Because y'all, as I've shared here before, like I've done Reiki on someone 5 minutes and a lot happened. A lot can happen. Then they're also looking at Reiki for knee surgery pain together with Drexel University, the University of Arizona, and Abington Memorial Hospital, maybe Abington. We conducted a blind-controlled pilot study investigating the effects of Reiki on 46 patients undergoing knee replacement surgery. That's a tough one. Of the 3 groups, Reiki, sham Reiki, and standard of care only the Reiki group showed significant reductions in pain, blood pressure, respiration rate, and state anxiety, which provides evidence for a full-scale clinical study. So they did the pilot to get permission to do a bigger study. So that is really exciting. Again, and this is your randomized controlled trial, I don't know if it was randomized. Maybe I bet they'll do a randomized, into the 3 groups, but really comparing Reiki, sham Reiki, and just what normally goes down. This is huge. They're doing a randomized control trial of remote Reiki for chronic pain. And randomized control trial, for all y'all scientific peeps, it's like the pinnacle. It's like what they do to test everything. It's like the highest level where they want RCTs for everything to prove anything, to prove that eating the sunflower microgreen is healthy. It's like we gotta do a randomized controlled trial. Even though it's common sense. But anyway, they're doing a randomized controlled trial of remote Reiki for chronic pain. And that's pretty cool. They're doing better and better study designs using these, the most well-respected methods at very well-respected mainstream institutions. I'm not quoting research that was in the Journal for Mystical Anonymous or the School of Metaphysics online, right? These are very mainstream institutions with the peer-reviewed, the respected journals of scientific literature, empirical evidence. So yep. Not sure who the practitioners were, if they were volunteers or what. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So we're seeing they're looking at knee surgery, they're looking at chronic pain, they're looking at a diverse array of psychological and physical health symptoms, looking at mental and physical health impaired medical professionals. We're looking at anxiety, depression, pain, heart disease, blood pressure, heart rate. What else? In rats as well, the intestinal leaks. And this is just a little bit. I didn't want to I could probably stay on here for hours, but I'm not going to do that. And I think it's compelling to talk about this. I know I've been talking so spiritually about everything because that's how I perceive Reiki. But, this stuff is here too. Like, it can be entirely not woo-woo. And what's not woo-woo about it, no matter what your belief system is the observable results that happen after a Reiki session, after a Reiki training. And that what's also so cool about it is, you think you've gotten all the good results immediately, but friends, a year later you see that this is a year after my master training. I'm like, man, nah, they're still coming. They're still coming. Yeah, that's the thing. Matt is vegan. Please go vegan. Vegan improves all of those conditions too. Exactly. So what do you think, Matt? In combining Reiki with a whole food plant-based diet, vegan or raw vegan, what do you think happens? Think you can totally synchronize, harmonize, amplify all of these good results times a gajillion? Because yes, and I've talked about that on here too, how I think a lot of the depth of my mystical experiences, just how much I perceived right from the get-go, and how quickly things have come together, how quickly I've experienced so much healing on so many levels, and such clear, profound guidance, has a lot to do with all the other stuff I do, has a lot to do with being raw vegan, has a lot to do with doing my cleansing and detoxification processes with right intention. It also has a lot to do with the fact that I've done a lot of meditation, yoga, and spiritual practices and training before this. I've been working on this stuff a long time, but Reiki really, it was I don't want to say the last thing, but it was like that final piece that just really made all these various things I was doing click and integrate and just go forward, just and up and just big big time, and being an incredible support to staying on a healthy lifestyle, staying on a healthy path, and letting go and releasing, letting these bad habits drop me, and letting go of anything that doesn't serve anymore. Letting go, realizing, what limiting belief systems I have, and letting go of those so I can step more into my power and my purpose. But it all goes together so well. And, that's why I want to train as many vegans and raw vegans as I can, who are interested in Reiki, as well as anyone who's not vegan or raw vegan. But I think, on my account, I am reaching a lot of vegans and people interested in raw food. So I want to train anybody who wants to learn from me, anybody who resonates. But I'm seeing this a lot of potential in in vegan people already on the vegan path. The thing is too, after Reiki training can help you discern what the best diet is for you, and how what foods your body, what really serves you, And I'm not here to tell anybody what that is. I'm here sharing what works really well for me, what I've been guided to do, and Reiki can help reveal that to you if that's a question you have, or what physical, pragmatic health practices would best serve you. You know, would a colon cleanse serve? Would a juice cleanse serve? Reiki can help access that guidance. Do I need to eat more greens? You know, all of these things. Reiki can really help with that, and help support more and more healthy habits sticking around, rather than, oh, you just do the 30-day cleanse and then go back to binging on the junk food. Reiki can really help like ground that in. It's been an incredible support for me for really locking in the raw vegan lifestyle that is my truth and is my highest expression of diet for me. Yeah, Reiki has most certainly empowered and increased my creative visualization abilities, clairvoyance. Yeah, all of these things are greatly assisted by Reiki for those who want that to happen and give permission for that to happen. I know some people are less visual, you know, and that's fine too. What I've said on here a lot is it doesn't matter how much you perceive during a session, or how much you perceive when you're doing the trainings or receiving the placements of the energy. It's still working. It's still working. You know, a Reiki practitioner who's sending Reiki remotely and literally just connecting with the energy and feeling super relaxed the whole time, they're sending just as much as, you know, someone who might be more like me and is seeing like a lot of different things happen and like having this whole mystical experience. The Reiki is working equally well in both cases. I like to see, though, I like to interact with it. The same can be said of, you know, the person receiving Reiki too. If they're just super relaxed the whole time and don't, you know, have some kind of strong visual experience, that person still received equal healing to someone who maybe had a very intense, beautiful visual experience. Reiki has discernment as far as how much the practitioner needs to see and what's for the highest good of the practitioner, as well as what's for the highest good of the person receiving Reiki too. Like sometimes it would be traumatic or scary for the person who's receiving the energy to see actually what's going on more spiritual levels. So as I say in these invocations or before these, like Reiki's got us, like it's got us, you know. They're not going to show you some traumatic stuff like all these demons and entities leaving you, or like crazy black smoke or something, if it's going to like freak you out too much, right? Like it's got you. It's conscious. It's very highly conscious life force energy. So yep, that is it. That's what I wanted to share today. We'll see what comes forward tomorrow. I'll be here again tomorrow. Y'all come back. I appreciate having y'all. If you are interested in the Reiki 1 and 2 workshop, I will be offering that online in May. Really, if y'all are resonating, please get on that wait list, register. It's going to be a really, really deep, amazing healing experience. It's going to be a 2-day Reiki marathon where we go deep, we go all the way, and y'all are going to feel so empowered to heal yourselves and heal others afterwards. Let's see, a meditative journey says, I also believe that science will back up Reiki meditation, plant-based Dithiga. I don't know what that is. Natural health and medicine, ancient healing, wisdom, more. Plant-based diet, yeah, gotcha. I agree, and it is all of those things. It's backing up all of those things more and more and more. Yeah. Well, I appreciate y'all being here. We'll be back tomorrow. As I said, get on that Reiki wait list if you are interested in doing the workshop with me. It's gonna be really, really beautiful. I hope to see you there. Much love to all of you. Namaste, friends. Y'all have a beautiful Thursday. Love you. Bye.